A massive energy wave appeared across the computer screens.
As his massive body rose out of the ocean, it looked like a living mountain standing before them.
His eyes glowed with a brilliant blue light, and the massive dorsal spikes on his back radiated with nuclear energy.
Without wasting a second, the US Navy launched its attack. Dozens of missiles were fired directly at Godzilla. The entire ocean was engulfed in fire and smoke. But when the smoke cleared, Godzilla was still standing there.
He began gathering blue energy inside his mouth. The very next moment,
his atomic breath tore through the sky. Within seconds, the entire battle fleet was reduced to ashes.
But this time, he wasn't here to attack humanity. He was searching for something else. That same night, on the other side of the Earth, a massive explosion erupted inside a frozen mountain. The ancient ice, frozen for thousands of years, began to break apart. And an ancient monster imprisoned beneath the ice was finally set free.
His name was Titan Zarkon. He had 4 massive wings.
His eyes glowed with a blazing red light, and his entire body was covered in black, stone-like armor.
The moment he took to the sky, he unleashed a storm of lightning and fire. Within just a few hours, several cities were reduced to ruins.
The United States, Japan, and the world's greatest military forces joined together to stop him. But no weapon could stop him. The whole world had finally realized, if anyone can stop this monster, there's only one. Godzilla.
In the middle of the ocean, Godzilla slowly began moving towards Zarkon. With every step he took, colossal waves rose across the sea. At the sound of his roar, every creature in the ocean fled into the depths. Far away, Zarkon sensed Godzilla's presence. He looked up at the sky and unleashed a roar so powerful that the clouds split apart. The two titans were finally about to face each other. Zarkon soared through the sky with his enormous wings spread wide. Every beat of his wings unleashed a violent storm. The entire sky was covered with dark storm clouds. People on the ground looked up in fear. Then, a thunderous roar echoed from the middle of the ocean. Godzilla had arrived.
then a thunderous roar echoed from the middle of the ocean. Godzilla had arrived.
He slashed Godzilla across the chest with his massive claws.
The impact was so powerful that a nearby mountain shattered and crashed into the ocean. Godzilla was pushed backward, but he never fell. Godzilla swung his massive tail at Zarkon. The impact was so devastating that Zarkon was hurled several kilometers away.
Enraged, Zarkon opened his mouth. Crimson energy began building inside it. The very next moment, he unleashed a colossal beam of fire and lightning straight at Godzilla. The entire ocean was consumed by flames, but through the smoke, Godzilla's dorsal spikes began glowing with a brilliant blue light. He slowly raised his head. With all his strength, Godzilla unleashed his atomic breath. The blue energy collided head-on with the crimson beam. The sky was consumed by a blinding white light. The collision was so devastating that both Titans were thrown backward.
Meanwhile, American scientists made a shocking discovery. They realized that Zarkon was not alone.
3 more Titans like him are sleeping in the depths of the ocean. If they awaken, human civilization will come to an end.
The scientists immediately relayed the information to the military, but it was already too late.
Zarkon unleashed a thunderous roar. His roar echoed all the way into the deepest parts of the ocean. Seconds later, 3 massive whirlpools began forming in different parts of the ocean. The entire sea started to tremble.
No! This is impossible!
Suddenly, 3 colossal shadows appeared beneath the ocean. The first monster was a colossal sea serpent. The second was a 4-legged beast covered in stone. And the third was a flying dragon, whose wings were as vast as an entire city. Now, Godzilla was no longer facing one Titan. He stood against 4.
Godzilla looked in every direction, then unleashed a thunderous roar.
His roar sounded like a vow to protect the entire Earth. But could Godzilla alone defeat all 4 Titans?
The entire world was swallowed by darkness. For several seconds, no one could see anything. Then, a massive explosion erupted in the sky. When the light returned, what people saw took their breath away.
Godzilla and Zarkon were pushing against each other with all their strength. Their energy was so overwhelming that the ocean itself began to boil into steam.
The earth kept trembling. Suddenly, Zarkon unleashed all of his power in a single strike. Godzilla was hurled hundreds of meters away and crashed into a mountain. His roar was weaker than before. The whole world believed it was over. Or so everyone believed. But then, a mysterious blue light began rising from the depths of the ocean. Thousands of giant whales, dolphins, and sea creatures gathered around Godzilla, as if the entire ocean was calling out to its guardian.
Godzilla slowly rose to his feet. There was more determination in his eyes than ever before. His dorsal spikes began glowing with both golden and blue light.
The scientists were stunned.
This is a new form. His energy has increased several times over.
Godzilla looked toward the sky and unleashed a mighty roar, powerful enough to tear the clouds apart.
The very next moment, Godzilla unleashed his ultimate atomic breath with all of his power. The colossal blue and golden energy beam struck Zarkon head-on. The very next moment, Godzilla unleashed his ultimate atomic breath with all of his power. The colossal blue and golden energy beam struck Zarkon head-on.
Zarkon answered with his crimson energy. The 2 beams collided for several moments, but then Godzilla's power began to overwhelm him. Slowly, Zarkon was forced backward. He roared with everything he had, but it was already too late. Then, a final explosion erupted.
Zarkon's colossal body dissolved into countless glowing particles.
Zarkon's colossal body dissolved into countless glowing particles. The 3 Titans that came with him also lost their power and sank into the depths of the ocean, falling into an eternal sleep. Within minutes, the storm came to an end. The ocean slowly became calm once again. Godzilla let out one final mighty roar. Then, without celebrating his victory, he slowly returned to the depths of the ocean. People finally understood he was never humanity's enemy. He returns only when Earth faces a threat that no one else can stop. But the story doesn't end here.
Post-credit scene. In the deepest trench of the ocean, a mysterious blue crystal slowly begins to crack.
Post-credit scene. In the deepest trench of the ocean, a mysterious blue crystal slowly begins to crack.
I have returned to claim what is mine. Godzilla, next time, you will face me.